And
Great.
all right.
So did you
Welcome
want to?
everybody. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. It's the thrill of being an entrepreneur. It's always those last minute last minute things. But today what we're going to go over is a brand new platform that I've put together. I have partnered with some what I consider best in class companies that I believe are companies that will get you where you want to go, right? And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the former world leading implementer of some software from Market Circle Daylight, as well as Citrix Podio. And I used to work for Apple. I worked for Apple first as a technician, then as a service manager for Apple. And then I came up to America and became one of the geniuses for Apple. And then I was like, yeah, corporate world is not for me. I left all of that behind and I ended up working for myself. And I've been doing that now for 23 years. And that first like 10 years was implementing software, that software from Market Circle, then another 3 years with Citrix Podio. And then I actually started working with, like, kind of during the middle of that time, started working with my competitors, because my competitors were always very frustrated with why, when like they're the Citrix master partner in New Zealand, why, when they put in Podio in the search engines, would my name come up in San Diego, California? And they're like, why do you always come up on top? And so they would hire me to teach them how to do marketing. And that's kind of how I ended up going into marketing. And I also went into coaching businesses, because there was always kind of like an elephant in the room of, I was putting these great CRMs together, but there was no data to go in the CRM, right? Or they would put stuff in the CRM and they would just like hold it. Here's my data. They wouldn't do anything with it. Right? So I knew that I had to make a move there, and ended up going into crypto, which was some fun too. And Anahata and I are great crypto crazies. We've traded a lot of crypto. Actually, Michael down here, Michael does Bitcoin ATMs. So and he's a
Very
fellow
cool.
air agency as well. So anyways, I ended up, after that crypto stuff and stuff, I started doing digital marketing in travel, and we were pushing about $640,000 a month in ad spend. And so I've kind of, gone all of this way from doing a strictly inbound marketing, which is what I did, when I was doing all of that implementation stuff, to then starting to do advertising, and now starting to do outbound with all of that other stuff, right? And so why our new platform? And I literally bought this domain 2 days ago. The name for it, the skunkworks name for this platform was called Grosswell Rev, and Rev stands for Revenue Enablement Vehicle, right? So we're more in RevOps today, and RevOps is basically, it's marketing, sales, and customer service together as one, rather than splitting them out. Okay, because data moves much better when it's not compartmentalized, and people, like the marketing department has this and the sales department has this, and that's not the way it really works in the real world. And especially now that we have all of these data tools, we need to be able to pass stuff off, make it simple for everybody, right? So that's where RevOps come in. And then a couple of days ago, in the middle of the night, I think it was like 3 a.m, I bought REVcrm.AI. I was like, this is it. And then I got ChatGPT to make me a quick little, image. And so that's our new image. And that was Chat GPT at 3 a.m. making me a logo. Anyways, so let's move on for today. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about building your audiences. We're going to talk about having AI and automation. And really what we're doing is we're, taking business that do standard marketing and we're going into the age of like hyper automated AI marketing, right? And that's what this platform is. It's really kind of putting that all together and really putting it on the thing. And for any of you who signed up, some of you might even got a call from my AI when I did 3,000 calls yesterday. But the push of a button, I wrote a script, made 3,000 calls, and some of you might be here today from that, right? And others of you may have been on my list from before, but all of you who signed up, and especially if you signed up like more than a week ago, you will have had a whole bunch of emails, a whole bunch of SMS leading up to this, right? Did any of you receive that stuff?
Yeah, I received it. I have a question, Marnie,
Yep.
because it's just tagging me to bothering me. What I thought that this was going to be Tana and the related stuff to that. This is not that, correct?
Yeah, this is not Tana. So I love Tana and I use Tana to run my business, right? I use it to run my business. But here's the thing. And Tana is like, I need to be able to be hyper productive in my day. And so I built a whole productivity suite inside of Tana. And that's what Anahata is talking about there. But the thing is, to be honest with you, people don't really care about being hyper productive. They care about feeding their families. They care about building their businesses. And so I kind of had to make a pivot from Tana. And you're going to get Tana if you're using Rev, because all of the stuff that's kind of like our templates of things, like how we build audiences and things like that, is going to be in Tana. But as it was, it's purely like a productivity platform. There's not a lot of money in that. So I had to do a pivot. And this is much bigger pivot, because every company cares about getting new business in the door. Does that answer your question, Anahata?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. And then the third thing we're going to talk about today, and this is why Jimmy, our special guest, is going to be here. So you build up all of this information, you're collecting all of this data, whether it's from our audience builders, whether it's from our intake pixel, whether it's from your ad platform, but now you've got all this data, right? And it's PII, personally identifiable information. And Jimmy will go in more depth into what that is, but we need to protect that, and we need to protect our businesses. And one of the reasons that I partnered with Coro and why they're on our very first webinar here is because I think it's incredibly important. I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars customers have spent with clients, have spent with me on recovering from a cybersecurity event. Like thousands of dollars. And there's this one woman that I have, she's in her 70s, and I have had to rebuild all of her systems 3 years in a row because she got attacked in cybersecurity events. And so I'm like, I'm going to build this wonderful thing, and then people are going to get annihilated out there. So I want to make sure that I have something that can help protect my clients, especially when we're talking like this kind of data. And so that's why Jimmy is going to come along here. But first, let's run through the platform real quick here. And hopefully I know how to run this thing. Yeah, okay. Problem number one. 75% of ad spend is wasted. A lot of people really don't know that and don't understand that. And that is basically because on average, the ad platforms don't get all of the data because of various different blocks and things like that. They actually they match about 15 to 25%, of the actual audiences in the ads. And so that's just, we got to fix that, right? Also, on the websites themselves, like Facebook, Google, TikTok, their pixels are bringing in, about up to 25%. That's on a good day. Generally, it's between 15 to 25% that they can actually grab onto, right? However, our pixel is much, much more powerful than that. And so what we can do is we can actually gain about 70% of the traffic that hits your website. Now, answer this to me. If somebody goes to your website versus somebody who's cold out there in the world, who's more likely to do business with you? The person who went to your website, right? Absolutely, 100%. And so we want to be able to get that information and then send it out through these, whether we're doing cold emails, whether we're doing cold calls, whether we're feeding that into a customer data platform back into the ads. We want to capture that information and make good use of it. And we can do that now with the technology that we have today. This is talking about the customer data platforms where we can feed that back in. Now, how do we do that? We do that with our special audience ID, okay? And that's from getting information from cookies, that's for getting information from devices, and also from IPs. And there are just like a bajillion pieces of information. And a lot of data providers, our competitors, like Apollo and ZoomInfo and those guys, they get sporadic information. But because we've partnered with so many different data providers, we get a much better coverage over here. You can see that. Okay. So problem number 2, advertisers are severely limited by targeting. And if any of you have done advertising yourself, you're going to look at this and you're going to go, yeah. Because a personal injury lawyer over here does not mean that somebody's interested in doing business with a personal injury lawyer. So the audience, the creation of the audience is just, it's junk. And Facebook and Google, what junk they do give you, they're not actually going to give you the data. They're like, yeah, here's your audience, but we're not going to give it to you. You have to pay us to give it to you. We're not going to actually give it to you. You have to pay and pay and pay and pay. So that's a little bit different about us. So number 3 is that today with AI, traditional reps, hi, I'm a human. We're all traditional reps here, by the way. We are 533% more expensive than a human to make a call and to place that call. Average human, $29 per hour. Average AI, about $5.44 per hour, right? And so when we're talking about this much data, that's where AI kind of has to come in. We're actually powered by Air is one of our partners. Audience Lab is one of our partners. I was just talking about Audience Lab a second ago. Air, we are one of the 100 founding agencies of Air, and their platform is freaking phenomenal. And it can do 5 to 40-minute long sales or customer service calls over the phone. And I've seen it grow up just in the last couple of months, right? From where it was from the beginning. And we've gone through some challenges and some great things as well. Like, I was really happy with the 3,000 calls I ran yesterday. I wasn't so happy with my audience because I didn't build the audience right. Now I know that. I understand what I did wrong in building the audience, but man, for the audience she had, she performed really well. And here's something that's really interesting about AI itself. And this is how I refer to AI, right? I say, welcome to the fire, and we're the ones with the lighter. Okay? This is that AI moment. Like, we created fire, and we have the lighter, and is it going to burn us? It may burn us. I really don't know, but we created it, right? And so this is going to be a really interesting time, because I feel that if we don't, especially business owners, I think that if we don't engage with AI, we are quite literally going to be toast, because the problem is our competition is engaging with AI, and they're just going to eat our lunch. Okay. And Jimmy's actually going to go over AI inside of cybersecurity, because it's a big part of what they do on the cybersecurity side of things as well. Companies can expect with, and I'll give you an idea too. This is truly crazy. I'm going to give you a phone number. You guys can call it in a bit. Don't call it right now. Alexi. So this is my AI. Here's the number, 858-682-0033. If you guys want to call that in a bit after we're done. I'll put it in the chat here too. 858-682-0033. Okay. What's interesting about that, when you call that, Alexi will ask you how much you spend in human payroll for your calls right now, and it will do the math by itself. And I didn't even teach it to do the math by itself. I just gave it this number, and then I called it back and I gave it a different number as the input number, and then it gave me the customized output. I mean, it's just it's freaking crazy. I love it. So let's move forward here. All right. Whoop, no. Okay. Oh, in booking, so they did a what do they call these? What is case study, right? Of air.ai and traditional really good sales reps, right? 7.5% the industry average. Their really good sales reps did 11.9% in booked appointments, but the AI did 15.2%, right? So yeah, 15.2%, almost double, and at half the price, which is just insane. Okay, there you go. It performs at 2 times, and it's 5% cheap, 5 times cheaper. Okay, so and this came from that original back too. This, I love this. This is really interesting. An average human clocks in, clocks out, takes vacations. We have to do a manual hiring process. It takes time to train people. The average, it takes 3.2 months to ramp up and hit KPIs. I literally did my script yesterday, and I ran 3,000 calls. Like yesterday. If that was in the traditional world, there's no way I could have done that. Not at all. Traditional reps get burnout, lack of motivation. They require training, management, HR liability, payroll taxes. I mean, the list goes on, right? I don't need to hammer how bad we as humans are. We should probably not be doing calls, and we should probably be doing other things with our lives, because we kind of suck at it. But an AI, you can hire 100,000 reps, right? I couldn't hire enough reps to do 3,000 calls yesterday myself as a small business owner, right? Couldn't do that. Zero ramp up time to, deliver. They don't burn out. They don't have attitude issues. They're always in great spirits. And they're constantly learning as well. Like my AI that sits on my account is learning from all of the calls that I do, right? And that's like just freaking phenomenal. Okay. So you guys get the idea. It's just beyond. Now, the last problem is companies are notoriously bad at following up and nurturing their customers, right? So for instance, we have people putting data either into Daylight or into Salesforce or into HubSpot or into Pipedrive, right? And now they've got the data, and maybe they send out one newsletter a month, right? That's typically the way that it goes, right? Whereas with Rev, we can have information coming through on WhatsApp, coming through on SMS, coming through from Instagram and Facebook and email and all of these other, places, from our outbound cold email, all of that fun stuff. And then we can actually put it into either air for making the calls, or we do those emails, the automated text messages, all of that fun stuff that we can do within the platform. And then closing is just like a afterthought, because we've done all of this stuff at the very beginning to nurture people through the pipeline, right? And so that's the thing, is that this system really makes it easy. And so now the system's there. We've got a whole bunch of data that's come through the system. And now we are going to hand it off. And I am going to, if I click on you, can I make host? I'm going to make Jimmy the host. And he is going to tell you about the cybersecurity part of it, which I think is really, really important. And he's going to tell you all of the stuff that you get when you get REVcrm as a part of the whole thing. So Jimmy, take it away there, my friend. I'm going to stop sharing.
Got you right here.
Okay.
I took over for you.
Awesome.
Very nice to meet everyone. And I just want to say, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit to have the courage to partner up with Marnie as she's actively trying to replace me and my counterparts. It takes courage to partner with her and get online with her, but it has been an absolute pleasure working with her, and it always will be. And I'm really excited to talk to you about cybersecurity a little bit today. Really important subject that unfortunately is a double-edged sword. I wish it didn't exist, because that means there'd be no bad actors in the world, but it's not the world we live in. But that's why you can partner with REVcrm and Coro to make sure that we're keeping you protected. But really appreciate everyone jumping on the line here. Coro and REVcrm have a message, and it's saying that you really shouldn't have to sacrifice security to be enabled to help your business. You have employees, or you're working with employees that need to be able to use multiple softwares, whether it's the flexibility to store information in the cloud, O365 or Google, or to actually host it physically on-prem. You have those needs. Regulations and risks have never been higher. And lastly, the time to actually respond and remediate threats quickly has never been more relevant, especially with a recession looming. You have CEOs, heads of businesses, heads of schools. They're expecting every department to do more with less, which is why we kind of get into what Coro built our features on, which is why a lot of folks are looking at consolidation to fill a bunch of the gaps they have. I mean, cybersecurity is changing, and it always will be changing, especially with AI taking over the entire world now. You have organizations, they're in need of more than just malware. You need more than just phishing tools. You have cyber frameworks like NIST. They're evolving to make sure that you have every aspect of your business covered. So protecting your endpoints, protecting your cloud applications, etc. What we're identifying them is that they're all building blocks for your security posture. What we're seeing, unfortunately, is that they're just becoming commoditized and definitely expensive. A lot of tools on the market are great for specific attack vectors, but they're all passing that exact same test. So that's why we see a lot of businesses are looking for one vendor, one service, one platform at an affordable price for two main reasons. One, you're going to increase scrutiny from insurance providers, compliance, customers. And then two, IT leaders are being asked to do more with less to be able to actually help grow that business. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Gartner, but they're big in the tech and cybersecurity world. They did an analysis and they found out that a lot of organizations are looking at consolidation as the answer because they're running into three fairly consistent problems. One, a lot of tools in the market right now are built for enterprise organizations, huge security teams. These are really complex solutions. They require a lot of manpower to feed the actual system. By extension, that's going to make it complicated to improve your business's overall risk posture. And lastly, which is on everyone's minds constantly, the people I'm talking to day in and day out, buying a lot of tools can be costly. Hiring a lot more staff can be costly. Going back to what Marnie was saying earlier about the reps, $27 an hour to about $5.50. The services to manage the tools, it's going to cost a lot of money. And the market's shifting right in front of our eyes. Gartner found that 75% of organizations are looking at consolidation, which is up almost 30% since the start of the pandemic. And then when consolidating, we want you to think a little different. The consolidation concept, it's not new. It's always been around. In the past, you can buy the tools that you wanted to buy to consolidate and then put them into a SIEM to actually ingest all these tools. You can get something called SOAR technology to automatically remediate. You can hire more staff. You can hire a third-party MSP to help you through the entire remediation process. I mean, consolidation, it used to be difficult to manage, used to cost a lot of money. We at Coro and an extension through REVcrm, we found a better way to manage your overall security environment while keeping costs low and keeping you compliant and safe. So what we did is we introduced just one dashboard, one endpoint agent, and one data engine. We're doing co-managed, and we're allowing our SOC team, a security operations center, to manage the platform 24/7. So there's only one dashboard to quickly view and respond to status, events, log. Our intent is just to allow you to focus on helping your business grow while making security simple. So if it was in your hands, it'd be see what's breaking, why it's breaking, and how to quickly fix it. But we even took the fix it out of your hands. We incorporated the SOC to make sure that it's being watched 24/7. So you can go to sleep because we never do. We work across Windows servers, Mac OS, trying to make it as simple as we can, not to clutter your environment with different agents to maintain, and deploying device posture, antivirus, data governance, firewalls, a whole bunch of things to make sure that we're keeping you protected. Traditionally, it was just sold as an all-in-one platform. The biggest ask was just to incorporate it into modules because some people have some things in place. We recognize it was a little tough. So we wanted to provide you with the options and to go what you need. But with Marnie and REVcrm, we built a predefined suite. So you're getting the endpoint protection suite, the email protection suite, and the SASE suite. Everything that you need to keep your entire company, whether you're work from home or in the office, protected, and incorporating our SOC. So it's monitored 24/7. So if something comes in at 3 a.m, we've got people with eyes on it, remediating as quickly as possible because we don't want those bad actors taking any action at any time. And if there is anything you need down the road, whether it be an additional of Wi-Fi security, secure messaging, which is email encryption, you can add any additional modules at any time. Really quick and seamless, snap into place. It takes a matter of seconds from our end to get you up and secure, to make sure that whatever you need, we've got you locked down. And that's all I have. And I'm definitely excited to answer any questions you guys have after it. But I know Marnie wanted to close up with a few words, and I love hearing her talk. So I'm going to pass it back over to her.
All right. Okay, so this is my last slide, and I'm going to share it with you here. And this is why, can you make me the host or enable me to screen share again?
You are the host once more. I was in the process. It's all you.
Okay, is it sharing my screen now? Nope. Okay, here it goes. Okay, this is the last slide that I didn't get done, that I was trying to get done before we go. But if you're wondering, okay, so this is a wonderful, system and everything, how much is it? And I think it's actually fairly inexpensive for what it actually does. All right. So in the theme of the cars, because cars go rev, right? That's our revenue enablement system. So our entry level system is called Performance. It's $297 a month, and it gives you 5 users on the system. And it gives you everything that we were talking about except the intake pixel. So that won't be part of it. That will be more in the higher end part of it. And the other things that it won't give you is it won't give you surveys, funnels, memberships. And when I say memberships, I'm talking about platforms where you can put courses in and where you can have what do you call them? Kind of like Facebook groups. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. It will not include trigger links, all of the reporting. It won't include the social planner and communities, and it won't include the SMS and email templates or the affiliate manager. But it includes everything else, which is two-way text and email, reputation management, missed call text back, invoicing, opportunities, campaigns, proposals and estimates, Google My Business messaging, Facebook Messenger, text to pay, calendar, email marketing, websites, blogs, web chat, Google My Business call tracking, CRM, forms, workflows, triggers, training videos, snapshots, community, all of that fun stuff. And for any of you that book a meeting with me today and you end up getting the platform, I'm going to throw in an audience for you. And audiences are worth $500 to build an audience. Okay. So you get that today. You can't actually sign up for it today because I haven't finished the damn website. But if you book the meeting today to do a demo and then you end up signing up, you'll get that $500 bonus. Okay. So now let's talk about the muscle, which is kind of like that's the muscle car is really what you want, because that includes listings for your website on all of the directories. Okay, that's included in it, and you get 15 users instead of 5 users. Okay, that includes all of the features of the system that I was mentioning earlier, except it does not come the pixel, the intake pixel, right? There, yes. Okay, so super, the last one, that includes the intake pixel, and it gives you 30 users. So it's a day after the webinar, and we went on and on about a whole bunch of questions that the guests of the webinar had. And when you joined into this, if you're on my website, you would have put your information in, and you're going to be getting a text from us and an email, probably a text and an email. And you can ask me any questions that you have about the platform after you watch this. And if you sign up to book an appointment for a demo today, right after you watch this, then that offer of a free audience applies to you as well. So I hope that you'll sign up for that, and we'll get to talk to you soon.